at you while you sleep, holding you, lost inside every breath you breathe. I don't wanna live a day without you, I just wanna be the one that makes you
I wasn't prepared for the rapid fire of questions, and a lot of them were good questions. A lot of them were very fair questions. A lot of them...
This is Matthew4Nineteen talking.
I
Hangout recap, a message to my atheist friends.
do know the answer to, but under the pressure of the moment, it just wasn't coming to me very quick.
Yeah, when you have a bunch of recorded spiels in your head, it's hard to get them to play, you know, to get them to come up and play when you have rapid fire questions coming at you.
So I apologize to not just the atheists who, you know...
Yeah, he let us all down. He was trying to save us, and he fell short of his goal, and so he should apologize, because he didn't save all of us atheists that desperately needed his saving.
Probably thought that I did a poor job, but also to the Christians who probably could have done a much better job of representing our position.
Oh, our position, like we're on a team. Like, why did he even bother to do this? He clearly wasn't there to discuss atheism. He was there to discuss his religion. I'm sorry, I came across this video yesterday, but I didn't want to talk about it because I was already showing 2 other videos of this guy. But this is his little day after message after he talked to the various atheists.
With that, I want to follow up on a couple of things that were said during the hangout last night. Bionic Dance, you asked why does there have to be a human sacrifice? Why does there have to be a human...
See, now he can, this is giving him an excuse to explain away the Bible. First of all, he acts like we're not already aware of what the Bible is, or what the gospel is, or what it says, or the story. Why does there need to be a human sacrifice? You know, I bet you there were a lot of pagan, very primitive tribes that sacrificed virgins to volcanoes, and I bet you that those guys would have also had to, you know, if anybody asked them, well, why do you have to do a human sacrifice? I bet they would have come up with the same basic answers as this guy.
Human sacrifice for the forgiveness of sin. And the reason for that, I know you didn't like my answer at the time.
You know, the reason for that is something that we've all heard before. It's written on every how to convert an unbeliever pamphlet that has ever existed.
But it's the way the Bible is set up is that there's always been a sacrificial system.
Yeah, because God is a bloodthirsty monster. This all-loving God isn't. He loves the smell of burning flesh. He gets off on it, and you know, we're talking about this really, I mean, he's different from all the other gods. This is what sets him apart from all the other gods that have ever been. He digs human sacrifice. That's what gets him. That's what you have to do to get him to forgive. You have to kill somebody, preferably somebody important to you and dear to you. So yeah, that's what sets him apart from all the other gods that have ever been.
For the covering of sins.
Covering of sins, yes, because, oh right, that's sin. That's what the religion has called doing bad things. That you can't just rectify in this life. You have to worry about repercussions and some afterlife that we have no evidence that exists at all. But the Bible, this book, says that that there is an afterlife, and that it's true, and that that we're all evil sinners from the moment we're popped out of the womb. So we have to, there has to be human sacrifice.
See that all the way back at Genesis 3 after the fall.
That's right, because it's all the way back to Genesis. The whole book describes this. need of his to have to consume human flesh to be able to forgive all the way back. It's just a need, you know. It's everybody needs to have a need, and this loving God's need is he demands human sacrifice. So to forgive you.
Well, when God made the first animal sacrifice.
Yeah, a little animal sacrifice, because you know those animals, they deserve to die. They're just, you know, whatever. They're just there to be butchered for no reason. I don't think they eat the meat, so it's just like the only reason it's done is to appease the God, because he likes the smell, I guess. Just something I have to say before I finish this little video. I said it before. This guy freely admits that he's an apologist. Like, he's proud of this fact. The truth, if it's truth, it shouldn't need to have this guy or any guys getting online explaining it. And it doesn't need an apologist. The truth doesn't need defending. The truth doesn't need explaining. The truth is clear. It is consistent. It is out there. And there's nothing about Christianity that meets that definition. There's nothing about the Bible that meets that definition. There's nothing clear about the Bible. Even Christianity, there's so many different versions. But, you know, you could talk to this guy all day. You could go and have a thing online with him, a chat online. He's so busy thinking about how he's going to defend himself and apparently he's defending a bunch. He keeps saying support our cause. Apparently he's just a mouthpiece for a bunch of people, and he's not even really listening to what anybody else has to say. He's just working on defending the cause and coming up with the right answers to the questions, and never mind if there's any points made.
To cover Adam and Eve when they were naked, and that is the scarlet thread that runs throughout all of Scripture.
You know, it sounds like he's got this memorized, scarlet thread. I'm sure that he got that from somewhere. Runs all through Scripture. You know what? It's a book. How Matthew4Nineteen. I know you really, this gospel thing is just really huge to you. He's like, oh my gosh, the gospel. Right? It's a book. Look at it. Just dig mine out. It's book. If you open it up inside, there's talks about when it was published. You know, it's published, Moody Press, Chicago, and it's a rewrite of a rewrite of a rewrite of a translation of a translation of a translation. It is a book. Man, put it there. Man made up the religion. Man made up all the stories. The Gospels were made up. Have you not studied who made them, or when they were written, or why they were written? Oh, he keeps talking about the Gospels all the way back to Genesis. It's a book.
Because the Bible says without the shedding
The Bible said it's a book.
of blood there can be no remission.
Oh, because a book says so. That there needs to be human sacrifice or whatever. And this God who's supposedly all-powerful doesn't have the power to decide, oh, we won't do that today. We'll try to be a little bit more enlightened today, and we'll just pretend that you did the sacrifice. We'll spare, you know, your little animal or your little daughter or whatever from the fire. We'll just pretend. We'll skip that step. No. We don't skip that step because he gets off on it. That's what it's all about.
No forgiveness of sin. So that's what the animal sacrifice.
See, it's all very carefully laid out. There's step 1, step 2, and step 3, and you can't steer away from any of these steps. And it's all because this God, you know, it hurts my brain trying to wrap myself around how anybody can believe this. This all-knowing God who creates the entire universe. I wish Matthew4Nineteen would look up into the sky and imagine how far at night and imagine how far away the stars are, and imagine that those are just the first line of stars that go on and on and on and on into eternity. Imagine the vastness of space. Imagine the vastness of everything. And then ask himself, God cares about whether or not we put a little animal on an altar, and he cares if he gets the smell of burned flesh, and he cares about little peon just whether or not you bow down and worship him all the time, and put him above your wife and your husband and your children, and put him as the center of your heart. He cares about that. The creator of everything cares about that. Ooh, and if you lie, he knows about it. If you lie, or if you say his name in vain, he knows about it. Yeah, the creator of everything. It's a book. The book says this is the case, so this guy believes it. Hook, line, and sinker, all the way back to Genesis, all the way back to the dawn of mankind. So it's true. I believe it, and I'm not going to listen to what anybody else says. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them for their opinion and what they think. But I'm not going to listen because I'm going to be so busy preparing what my answers are, and I better get them really cut, because these guys are really rapid fire questions. Yes, because it's really easy to think of questions to something that makes 0 sense. And the fact that you don't have the answers at the ready tells me it's not coming from your brain, it's coming from your memorized whatever speeches you have in your head. The indoctrination shit that you put out there to try to convert people. It's all pre-programmed and written down, and you've memorized it. This is how you convert somebody. This is what you answer when somebody asks you this. This is the... Anyway, I'm only 3 minutes and 9 seconds into his video, and I'm not going to play anymore because I just suspect he's going to say every question that any of the atheists answer during this program, he's going to have his little pad answer ready. You know, and then if you scroll down on this video, down to the show more, he has this little thing. What is the gospel? The Bible teaches that all have sinned and fallen short of God's standards. Yeah, because no atheist has ever read this line before or heard this line before. This is new information to atheists. Oh, have you ever told a lie? You have broken the 9th commandment. Yes, and God sees you as a liar. The God who created all the heavens, all the stars, all the universes and galaxies and planets and every little thing, you know, all the way down to the tiniest microbe. He knows you're lying, and he keeps a special book where he writes down everything that you do wrong. And this we all broke God's laws, he says, but Jesus paid our fine. You know, how is that moral? How is that moral that this God, this judge, is letting some innocent guy pay the price for something I did wrong? Why would that be okay with me, that some innocent guy pays my penalty for me? I don't think that's cool. And how can anybody who's just think that that's just? That's wrong. That's wrong. In my book, and anybody who has any idea what justice means, that's wrong. But Christianity looks at that like that's something to, admire. Ooh. Anyway, God can legally commute our death sentence. You know what? It all comes down to this, doesn't it? Matthew 4:19. You're afraid to die. I'm sorry. That's really sad. That's really sad that you spend your whole life trying to find an escape route, a get out free ticket or whatever. This is all about avoiding death. This is all Christianity is. This is what all religion is. Anyway, so this is kind of a rant. But you should read this paragraph under this video because it's hysterical. And it's all stuff that you've heard before. Anytime anybody's ever tried to convert you, this is the same stuff. And it's all based on a book. And it's all about a really, really big God who's created everything, caring about his little bit. He cares about every thought you think and every little word that comes out of your mouth. And he keeps records. He knows when you're sleepy. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. This is why I say that Christianity is just the adult belief in Santa Claus. So anyway, Matthew 4:19, I'm sorry for you, and I hope one day you can figure out just how unoriginal you are. Been watching. Thanks. Bye.